And welcome back to another episode of me prepping for Highland Games. I'm starting out now my prep for the Enumclaw Games in Seattle, Washington. Not a lot of changes in my programming necessarily, except for just maintaining discipline or finding some more discipline again. Been a very, very busy summer for me so far. I can't let those excuses get in the way. Definitely need to be finding, making sure that I'm getting my gym time when I'm supposed to be getting my gym time and my practice time when I'm supposed to be practicing. So I'll be posting a recap of the San Diego Highland Games very soon. Wanted to get some training content out there before that though, and start getting after the explaining and the training for Enumclaw. So some of you don't know, Enumclaw is a long-standing games. It's been dubbed the North American Championship, and it is one hell of a good time. Been there. This will be my third trip to Enumclaw, second time as a pro. First time I went as a elite amateur, and man, it is just incredible. Jay and Brett run a fantastic games there. The whole festival is huge. There's, I don't know, at one point was the largest marching band, or the largest, what do they call the Scottish drummers? Anyway, largest collection of the Scottish bands, mass bands, that's what they call it. I really pay attention off the field, I'm sure you can tell. But anyway, great games. Again, Jay and Brett, I can't say enough good things about them. They do a fantastic job getting the right athletes there and just putting on a hell of a show for the crowd. So, looking forward to that again. So back at it, man. Renewed some enthusiasm again after San Diego. Had a great games with some great athletes, and ready to do it again with some of the same guys and some new guys I haven't met yet. Gym stuff gonna look a lot alike. Still gonna be hitting the mobility stuff. Still gonna be addressing some things, but I need to make sure I get my volume back up a little bit in the next couple of weeks, and get that strength back peaked up, because this series of games for me this summer is going to be pretty intense. I'm going to go Enumclaw. 2 weeks later, I'll be in Maine. 2 weeks after that, I'll be in Pleasanton. So I need to make sure to get a lot of good training, foundation of good strength coming into that series of games. Just to talk you through some stuff here. Nothing different than what you've seen from me before. Starting out with some shoulder pump stuff. Not necessarily mobility, just some shoulder activation and shoulder pump. The series that I do, if you rewind just a second, you'll see the stuff that I do with the shoulder there. Basically those 3 movements really pumps a ton of blood into the shoulder. And then your basic extensions for triceps to get the triceps warmed up, and some basic shoulder complex with some dumbbells, front raise. I think I do a lateral raise here in a second, and then an overhead press. Nope, I just go straight into the overhead press. Nothing more than on this, just to get a pump into the shoulders again before I start my bench press work. And on this day, I did bench press versus chains, lighter chain than I have been doing, for no other reason than I didn't need to load the weight up that much. Worked up to the 275 with only 35 pounds of chain, I believe. And focus on speed, focus on moving that weight as fast as I can, and the accommodating resistance from the chain. Obviously, the weight, the chain catches up and makes it where you're adding weight as you extend your arms out. Nothing super scientific with it that I'm going to talk about, but it is a good way to train, strength train for an explosive athlete. As long as you're really just focused on, who cares how much the chain is and how much it deloads or not, from the bottom to the top. As long as you just focus on that, moving that weight as fast as you can all the way through extension. There's no point in putting, for me in my training, there's no point in putting a whole bunch of extra weight on there via chain or straight weight if I'm going to grind the weight. The grind is good in the off season for me. It builds the muscle, and I can overall turn that muscle into strength. But for now, it's just about pushing the weight fast and hard. Hey, fast and hard. That's how you should live your life, fast and hard. First weight set, yep, with 35 pounds of chain in there. It gets a little sloppy sometimes in that first set because my intent is to be fast. So loosens up a little bit on the first set, and I try to really dial it in and focus on being tight and explosive and pushing that weight exactly in the vector that I want it to go in. Exert my will onto the weight. Oh, look at there. I did add some. So I went up to 70 pounds total chain. Yeah, whatever. Like I said, doesn't matter. It's a lot of my training is by feel, as I've talked about multiple times. And I think this is only 225 pounds too. So less bar weight, more chain weight. Again, no exact prescription for the training, but getting the work done. After the bench press, I did these kneader presses, as I found out they're called, or shot put press. Mr. Matt Hand and Kyle Lilly both talked about them with me a little bit while I was in San Diego. Yeah, I like the press. I like the variation. Keeps me from having to lock out. Sometimes locking out or going heavier with the overhead press can be a little traumatic to my shoulder/elbow. This is a good, very lightweight, 115 pounds, and the idea is to press fast, very ballistic movement. Getting a little leg involved, which is exactly, that's what you need to do, because I throw things not only with my arms, I throw things with my legs. So I think this will carry over pretty well, and it's kind of a fun movement, and you should have fun in the gym. This whole thing should be fun. If it's not fun, then why the fuck are we doing it? Back at these, I don't remember what they're called. We'll call it lean back. Lean back. I really get tight in the entire frontal plane, from the quads through the hip flexors, through the abs, through everything, from sitting at a desk a little too much, and then of course traveling when I'm flying and everywhere. All bad. And these really do a good job of reversing it. And I just feel better after having done them. So if that's as good a reason to do anything, any movement or exercise, if you feel significantly better after doing them, then fucking do it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. You're the boss of you. They're not the boss of you. So I like these. Add them in. They're challenging for sure for big old fat people like me. So thanks, Nick Aston, for motivating fat people like me to do stupid things like this. So that wrapped up. This was actually the first upper body day after San Diego Highland Games. I think. Maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I trained a different time than this. My camera on the phone was broken, so there was a couple sessions and throwing and lifting that I didn't film. So this was the first one after the Alaska Highland Games, though, that I didn't really compete in. This was the next training session. I almost didn't do this. I got off work. I got off work and was feeling kind of blah, tired, whatever. But I reminded myself, them excuses is bullshit, and we ain't gonna have them no more. So loaded the kids up, and they went to the gym with me. They enjoyed some flipping around, doing whatever, It looked like training to me. They were jumping and flipping and doing all kinds of crazy parkour stuff. So they got their training in while I was getting mine in. It was designed to be a real quick session. Just doing some trap bar, explosive deadlifts versus the bands. Kind of like in my head, the cue was move like you're trying to jump. And that really kind of focused to make me be real explosive. I'd say this movement looks a lot like a pull on a weight over bar, which isn't the only thing that it's designed to help, but hey, hopefully it helps that. And this is for me a lot easier of a motion than doing hang clean or clean from the ground or whatever. So it was just easy, simple, dumb head could do it. And then jumped in and do some single leg stuff. This is kind of new to this phase. Single leg stuff I meant to add in earlier in my training, but I, for whatever reason, never got around to it, and so now I'm doing it, and I need it, man. Watch this right side. Ugh. Balance was garbage, and weirdly, I got some right hip things that are going kind of funky. My right knee, quad, it doesn't produce power as well as it should. But overall, a lot of it is just an instability in my hip, and if my hips are unstable, I can't really put the power to the ground like I really want to. So that's definitely something I need to work on, and I think I can fix it mostly through just continuing to train it with lower loads initially, and then adding in load as we go. I guess, I mean, maybe 300 pounds isn't necessarily the lowest load, and I mean, I should maybe probably go lower load than that, but I mean, when it moves right, but when I'm unstable, it just does not move worth a damn. So probably a good dose of lighter lunges, either with the bar like that, like a rear foot elevated deadlift, or actually just getting out and doing some lunges. I tried this goofy shit with the yoke, doing a shallow lunge while balancing something on my back. In my mind, I thought, oh, I'll just put something on my back to really kind of challenge the hip and continue to train the stability in the hip to be better. But I don't know. It's not necessarily this is a lot of work to set up, but I don't know that it's any better than just carrying some kettlebells in a lunge pattern. Anybody has any input on that, throw it at me. I'm definitely willing to listen. This, for whatever, it just didn't feel right. And I finished off this training session with some good old-fashioned single leg presses. This takes away some of that challenge to the stability and makes this more of a pump exercise. Didn't have hardly any weight on this. Certainly easy enough to do the 12 to 15 reps on one leg. So, yeah, like I said, not challenging strength at all, and not challenging stability as much. But I think maybe an easy way or a way to regress the movement of the lunge to build up some strength in that area, and maybe build up some confidence on that single leg work. Hopefully carrying over this stuff. And so that was about it for it, guys. Pretty good couple of training sessions there. Just need to get out and throw some now, work on technique, and really just kind of get the reps up on that as well. Volume on throwing would be important for me. So stay tuned for the recap of the San Diego Highland Games and some future training as we lead up to the Claw.